Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard How to Trade Volatile Markets for Maximum Profit. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. I'm the founder and the chairman here at TOPGUN Options. Former Navy FA-18 Hornet fighter pilot, graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know as Top Gun, flew combat sorties over southern Iraq for Operation Southern Watch, also deployed for Operations Noble Eagle and Enduring Freedom. What's this have to do with trading? Everything, folks. Trading is a form of combat. After serving my country, I went to Chicago and helped run a multi-billion-dollar volatility options trading firm. Now, if you look at this market for the past couple months and you are seeing red and you're getting your ass handed to you and I can't believe I'm losing this much money and Donald Trump this, and you are absolutely doing it wrong. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this massive pullback, which caused a nice spike in volatility, we have made 21 trades on the S&P 500 for 21 profitable trades. We are printing money in this market, and men lie, trades don't. So this morning, in one of our member briefs, it was called Accelerated Retirement. Let's pretend we didn't have this, 45-point pop in the S&P 500 today. I'm going to show you this morning in our live trade brief. Let me just pull up today's chart of the S&P 500 real quick. So take a look at this. Here we gap down. Let me just zoom in a little bit on the S&P 500. We gap down at the open here, right? And then our live trade brief starts at 11. I placed a trade right there as the S&P 500 came down. It was called a bullish double vertical on the S&P 500. And look what happened to it. Let's go take a look. It's trading at about 47 bucks right now. Look, and I blasted this out to our members. Look at this morning. 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago, I posted this trade alert. Look at the price it was at when I sent out this trade alert. $4.75. This trade has made $42-ish, 43 bucks in a couple hours, folks. This tactic is called a bullish double vertical. This prints money if what? The market does exactly what I thought it was going to do today, which have a rip your face off rally. Isn't that awesome? Well, Wiz, that's great for your members, but I'm not a member yet. Here's what I want to show you. So I absolutely believe the markets are oversold down here. Let me just open up the S&P 500 a little bit. Let's go out, I don't know, a year and a half. Take a look at a year and a half. You see this red line right here? That is called the 300-day moving average. Last time we hit it was in November of 2023. And then what happened? A rip your face off rally for a solid year, year and a half or so. Now, obviously, this volatility with the Trump trade wars and tariffs and all that type of stuff has caused some increase in volatility. But as I told you earlier, we are printing money as the market goes up, down, or sideways. That's the power of being an options trader. Now, I'm going to tell you we are oversold here. And Donald Trump, love or hate the guy, is trying to make trade fair. If you got a problem with, quote, fair trade, you got problems, man. But here's what I'm getting at. This is going to pass. I'm old enough to remember Trump the First and the trade war with China. It ended up with 3 heavy China dudes coming to the White House and signing a ceasefire, right? He won. So the dust will settle, markets will adjust, and we will be better for it, okay? So I think we are absolutely going to get a relief rally up and to the right here, maybe even back to this blue line up here, which is called the 50-day moving average. How do I take advantage of this? Well, I could be lazy and just show you the trade that the members got this morning that made 42 bucks already today. And remember, if you had done like 3, 4, 5 contracts, you'd be up maybe 3, 4, 5,000 bucks right now. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to build a bullish double vertical. So we went out 3 weeks. Okay, we went out. Let me just go all the way out here to April 23rd. Okay, right there is where we went out to. I look at what's called the at-the-money straddle to get an idea of where to place my strikes. Right now, the S&P is trading at 56.75. I'm going to go to 56.75, and I'm going to look at what is called the at the money straddle for April 23rd. Instead of me guessing to a bunch of stuff, this is what the options market is pricing in for a move by that date. Look at this. They're pricing in a max of 58.72 and a minimum of 54.77. So I'm going to write these two things down. 58, and I'm going to call it 75 is the top, and then 54.75 down to the bottom. All right. So let's go build this trade together. With a double vertical, I'm putting a basement in, right? That's going to be called a bull put spread. And that's also called a credit spread. We're going to get paid to do that trade. And then I'm going to take some of that credit and I'm going to buy what is called a bull call spread. So watch this. Let's put the basement in first. What did I say the bottom was? About 54.75. So let's go down to 54.75. And if you have no idea what I'm doing, you got to join TOPGUN Options. I will train you how to do this stuff, folks. We are having absolute blast trading this market. All right. I'm probably going to go up to 5,500 to see if I can get some premium here. Right about there. There we go. I'm going to show you one contract because it doesn't matter. I don't know how much money you have or how much you're trading. With one contract, folks, if I sell in April 23rd, 5,500 put, then buy a lower strike put, it's going to cost, I'm going to get paid $235, right? So with this trade rate here, I am risking $765 to potentially make $235, right? And that's a high probability trade. Look at this. The probability of a max profit in that trade is 75%. So let's go look at the chart. 5,500. This looks a little bit. So 5,500 is, let me open up the chart a little bit here. Let's go with 9 months. Okay. 9-month chart. So 5,500, look at this right here, folks. That drill bit right there was down to 5,500. And then that other little drill bit was also down to 5,500. So this looks like a W here. What do we call this? A double bottom. A double bottom can be very bullish, folks. So I'm going to put the basement right there. The basement is this bull put spread at 5,500, 54.90. Okay. Now you could just do this trade. If you did it with one contract, as I just showed you, you are risking $800 now to potentially make $200. High probability trade, 75% probability. But here's what I'm going to do. Since I put in the basement, I don't think we're going to keep imploding. I think we get some stability with all the trade wars. So we put the basement in. I also think the S&P 500 is going to rip. It's going to have an upside bounce. I'm fairly certain, okay? So why don't we take this credit, the $200 we're getting paid, and go buy a bull call spread, right? Let me do one contract. Okay, what did I say the top was from before? That's why I wrote that at the money straddle number down. 58.75 was the top. So let me scroll up. It's like choosing my age on a website. I got to keep scrolling, sadly. 58.75. And I'm going to do a $25 wide trade. Why? You're going to have to join and I'll explain all this stuff to you. I will train you how to do this. 58.75, 5,900. Okay? Now, I was getting a credit of, what was that? A couple $100, $200. Now this has turned into a little bit of a debit. I'm spending $310. Now let's go look at the metrics though. You ready? In this trade, I'm risking $1,300 to potentially make $2,200. Okay. What a great risk to reward ratio. 1 to 1.65. Why is it called a double vertical? Well, look at the picture. I'm a political science major from South Jersey. I love pictures, right? I need drawings. So there is the bull put spread that we looked at first to help finance this bull call spread. All it is two vertical spreads on top of each other with the same strategic mindset. In this case, bullish. Folks, on the way down, my members, we were trading bearish double verticals and we were printing money. Some of these trades made 300, 400, 500%, $10,000, $15,000, folks. We printed money as the markets imploded. Now we're trimming our sails for when, not if, the markets will recover. Like I said, this looks like a double bottom here, which is potentially bullish. Okay. So now I'm just showing you one contract right now, but you could do a ratio spread, meaning, you know what, let me do 5 contracts up here and maybe, I don't know, 2 down here for the bull call spread. All right, well, that's spending $200. Let's go look at the risk. I'm risking $5,000 to potentially make $5,000, right? Something like that. So you could play with the number of contracts. We could go the other direction. I'm going to go, 2 up here and then maybe 5 up here or something like that, right? It's called a ratio spread. Now you're spending $2,000, right? You're risking 4 to potentially make 10. This is how I just told you in some of those double verticals on the way down, I placed trades that made $10,000 to $15,000. This model portfolio is based on a $100,000 model portfolio. My SOP, my standard operating procedure, is I don't want to risk more than 5%, which would be around $5,000 on any one trade. Where'd you come up with that? That's me. I've been doing this for 35 years, folks, over 3 decades. And that's my personal SOP. I don't want to blow out on any one trade. 5% is right in the window for me. So in this model portfolio, this is the trade I would place right now, risking $4,100 to potentially make $10,000. If the market rebounds, like I believe it's going to, once we get some nice clarity on the trade wars and people start backing down or meeting on phone calls or shaking hands and trying to figure out how to move the ball forward, we're going to get a relief rally, folks. So again, you could sit here and play with the contracts. Let's just go down to 1 each. Let's just 1, 1, 1. This would spend $295, right? You're risking $1,300. How do you take that max loss, Wiz? I'm wrong. Trump says, you know what? Screw it. I don't like anybody and more trade wars. And we just implode and take a massive leg down again. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I would immediately eject out of that trade, and I would do a bearish double vertical, right? I call it dog fighting the S&P 500. If I'm wrong, I'm going to take a little bit of a loss and pound it into the dirt and see massive profits, okay? This is what I call dog fighting the S&P 500. Now, if this seems like, I can't believe this guy talked that fast, man. Guess what? In the trade brief this morning, I went for an hour and a half. I talked for an hour and a half about how to build the trade we talked about this morning. I just showed you on the brokerage account, this trade is up around $47, $48 right now, and you could have entered it at $4. Talk about a significant return in a couple hours. But that's what I do in our live trade briefs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, from about 10 to 11, maybe 11:30. Like I said, we went a little longer this morning. Why? Because I had to set this trade up, okay? And this, you're getting a look at our member area right now. Look at this. This is where I post my S&P 500 trades. This was yesterday. Shot a quick bear call spread that I closed for $1,000, 50% in a couple hours. Yesterday morning, we did the same thing. Look at this right here. Look at these 2 trades. New bull put spread. This was in the trade brief. I put a bull put spread on, and this trade I closed 13 minutes later. Closing also for 50%, $1,000 profit. So this is what our member area looks like. And you also have access to our app on the phone. You get instantaneous alerts whenever I place a trade in our member area. Get it right on your cell phone, or it's posted here on the member page, okay? But here's why I wanted to talk about this, is because when you join our Full Throttle program, you're going to get access to, what we call Options Weapons School, okay? Right here. Wiz, I don't even know what a call is or a put is. Session 2. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Folks, you get access to 7 training sessions, folks, and they take a building block approach. This is the market. These are calls. These are puts. This is a credit spread. This is a debit spread. And I take that slow building block approach. By the time you get to session 6 and 7, you are a steely-eyed options trader. This is worth its weight in gold here, folks. I have members that watch these 10, 15, 20 times, and they're like, you know what? Every time I rewatch that, I pick up a little something new, okay? So if my quick brief on a bullish double vertical left you scratching your head going, I have no idea what the hell this guy's talking about, don't worry about it. I was born the world's best fighter pilot. I was not born the world's best options trader. I had to learn. I put in a little bit of elbow grease and some training, and man, once you do that, you're gonna just crush it. I guarantee you. Trade groups. So if you go to TOPGUNOptions.com, just our normal member page here, go over here to trade groups. Full throttle is your first choice right there. It's only $295 a month, folks. $295 to get airborne here at Top Gun Options, okay? Let me scroll down, though, because if you do want access to one of our investment clubs, it's called the Hunter. You either do the annual membership, which is $29.95, or you do the Hunters, which is kind of a test flight of our investment club, okay? This is kind of the I'm learning and, I'll get over here eventually, but let me start here. Okay, so this is kind of our trial, so to speak, $295 a month. If you had done the trade that I just covered for a single contract, you essentially paid for 4 or 5 months of your full throttle membership. Hell, by the time that trade expires, the one that I covered today, I could pay for 3 or 4 years of an annual membership, okay? So this is our full throttle program. You get access to the Tuesday, Wednesday live trade briefs. If you really just want to dip your toe in the water, go to Solo Amazon. We only trade, you ready for it? Amazon in this portfolio. I'll teach you how to trade options on the stock I call the Death Star, right? This thing is literally taking over the world. Rumors today that they might be buying TikTok, man. Amazon is literally the Death Star. It destroys everything it touches and it prints money. Getting access to the Solo Amazon brief every Monday at 10 a.m. with the alert service and everything, it's $97 a month. But remember, we're only trading Amazon, so you're not going to get me trading volatility or the S&P 500 or any of my other stuff. We just focus on Amazon. And if you do the annual membership, you end up getting 2 months included, okay? So all the stuff can be found on the Top Gun Options homepage. Just go over here to trade groups, full throttle, or solo Amazon. You know what, Wiz? I just want the training. Let me do the training first, and then I'll see if I want to, try and do any live trading with options. Go down to options basic training. To get access to those 7 trading sessions, it's only $297. $297 to learn how to do that double vertical. The double vertical I just showed you, I take an hour to an hour and a half, not 18 minutes to explain it. And you will know how to trade double vertical. So it's up to you. Just go to TopGunOptions.com, go to the trade groups, drop down, and pick your buffet item, folks. Men lie, trades don't. We did that bullish double vertical in the trade brief this morning, and it is printing money right now. So get airborne today, folks. Learn how to turn panic into profit. No offense, it's so funny because let me open it. Let's go with a 2-year chart. Everybody's a genius, folks, aren't they? Everybody's a genius when the market's going straight up. And it's going up on nothing. The Federal Reserve printing money out of thin air. And I think I'm going to cut rates. When do you cut rates? Right in front of the election. 50 basis points, which actually reignited inflation, separate story. But folks, you're not a genius if you make money in a market going straight up. Anybody can do that. You know who's a genius? Me. When the market is ripping up and down all over the place and we are printing money. We are making money as people panic. That's why you got to learn how to trade options, and I will do it for you, okay? So head to TopGunOptions.com, go over to trade groups, and check out what we have to offer. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged, and if you don't know what that means, you definitely need to join Top Gun Options. Fights on, and God bless. Wiz out.